Cabinet considered and approved the establishment of the Human-Wildlife Conflict Relief Fund for victims in our country, and this was proposed by the Minister of Environment, Climate, Tourism and Hospitality Industry, Honorable N.M. Provo. Cabinet wishes to highlight that as a result of its successful conservation programs, the country's increasing human and wildlife populations have led to competition for limited resources between humans and animals. In 1980, Zimbabwe had reached an elephant population of approximately 50,000, while the human population at that time, in 1980, was 7.4 million. Today, this is 2022, the Zimstats population census estimated the number of people to have more than doubled to about 16 million. The elephant population, meanwhile, is now estimated at more than 85,000, with other species also showing significant growth. This often results in wildlife attacks on humans, especially in communal areas and towns that are close to national parks, close to safaris, forests, and other protected areas. Consequently, people living adjacent to wildlife areas are always in danger of being attacked by the animals, and it has been established that the frequency of such attacks is increasing. This year alone, as of August 2022, 46 Zimbabwean lives have been lost to human-wildlife conflict, with the most affected being Ashunali West Province, where 19 people were killed, mostly in Kariba. Regionally, Zimbabwe has the highest numbers of deaths from human-wildlife conflict. When we compare with other countries, for example, in Botswana, there are significantly less deaths, although they have more elephants, standing almost at 204,000. And this is because they have a smaller human population and the settlements are sparsely populated. In over a period of 10 years, they've recorded 57 deaths. Besides the fatalities, human-wildlife conflicts affect communities in other ways, including the following. 1, people being maimed, disabled, or sustaining serious injuries. 2, loss of food security due to consumption and destruction of crops by animals. 3, loss of livestock to predatory wild animals. Then 4, destruction and damage of property and infrastructure by wild animals. And 5, potential exposure to zoonotic diseases. Cabinet notes that government, through the Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority, that's ZimParks, is implementing interventions to reduce human-wildlife conflict. The measures which ZimPark is doing include conservation education and the use of barriers, 2, translocation, sterilization, and selective culling of wildlife, 3, approved hunting quotas, and 4, fencing to restrict or control the movement of wildlife. Accordingly, Cabinet adopted the establishment of a relief fund, which is there to cushion the victims of human-wildlife conflict by way of funeral assistance and an amount paid towards hospitalization and treatment with a set limit. The payments will cover 3 categories, namely death, those who are maimed, and those who are injured. A specialized human-wildlife conflict unit will be established. All this will be under ZimParks. The fund is based on a self-financing model where proceeds from hunting and other crowdfunding activities will be mobilized to resource the fund. These sources include reserving a hunting quota under the CITES granted quota, then a levy on hunting revenue accruing to safari operators, rural district councils and conservancy owners also. The financing sources also include, among others, the following. A percentage of wildlife commodities or products that are approved and monitored by ZimParks. Then the crowding conservancies to contribute financially towards the human-wildlife conflict through donor support programs. And there's also campfire proceeds and donations from the public, including funds from foundations set for wildlife conservation. Going forward, the fund will be extended to include preventative measures such as providing water in the game parks and enhancing grassing pastures. The fund will also look at associated impacts such as livestock loss, and control of wildlife and livestock movements. This will all be done to curtail the spread of diseases such as foot and mouth. Sources of funding will also include treasury, while local structures will be incorporated into the program. Then cabinet.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.